Man, I'm supposed to take my girl out to dinner this weekend. I'm so broke, man.
Man, I used to have those same problems, you know. But since I got my whip company card, when I take my lady out, I even get something back, you know.
Get something back? But you're a lucky fella.
I take your mind out the gutter, the man. What I mean is, with whip company I get back 1% on every purchase I make. With this card, I can spend in guilders and use it throughout the Netherlands and TDs. Instead of paying 1% of the dollar credit card, man, I get 1% back on every purchase I make at the end of the year.
What? I gotta get myself a company on card.
Man, but let's go.
Let me go. Man, now my lady's birthday gonna be a real celebration.
At least now with Whip Compaleon, I know you're gonna get something back.
The Whip Compaleon credit card with limits as low as 500 guilders. You don't have to walk with cash and it is accepted by practically all businesses. The Whip Compaleon is the first guilder credit card that can be afforded by anyone.
We all have important documents that are critical to our business. We tend to archive them in a filing cabinet. What if I told you there was a better way? And this can be easily accomplished using your Xerox multifunction device powered by ScanFlow Store. A user simply selects the appropriate scan template and completes the scan. The result is an intelligently archived document that can be easily retrieved by doing a simple word search from any workstation on the network. ScanFlow Store is the tool to help you easily and intuitively manage your documents directly from your Xerox device. For more information, contact your Xerox representative.
Dr. Friday, before the break, we talked about what may cause a woman to have a non-natural pregnancy, and you talked about the C-section. What would you consider to be, or what is the norm? How many cesareans can a lady have?
On average, the problem with C-section is the more C-sections you do, the more difficult it becomes. So if you do 2, 3 C-sections, 3 C-sections, 4 C-sections, it becomes a more complicated surgery. But most women have 3 kids anyway, so we say most people have 3 C-sections, but I've done a C-section on a woman who had 5 C-sections previously. So there's no set number. Is the issue that it becomes a more complicated surgery, but most women have on average 3 kids, so it's 3 C-sections. But also the issue of we tie tubes also after maybe 3 or 4 C-sections, because in the C-section we have the tubes in our hands, so we can tie the tubes at that point. But on average, I would say most women have 3 C-sections and they don't have any more. But there's no set number, because I've done a C-section on a woman who had 6 kids before, and they saw we only can advise a patient. The patient is going to do what they want to regardless. If a woman has 7 kids and this is her 7th C-section and she doesn't want to tie her tubes, you can't force her. You can just provide informed consent and let them choose on their own. But the problem is we have far too many C-sections. We did on average 230 deliveries last year, and 120 of those were C-sections, which is about 50%. But half of those was because they had previous C-sections and they wanted to have a repeat. There's not too many women who have a vaginal delivery after C-sections. They just want it over with and have a repeat C-section. So on average, there's no set number, but we say 3 C-sections.
Okay, well now we are here with one of your patients.
Yes.
And what exactly are we going to be looking for with this patient?
Well, at this point, she's 31 weeks, so we've done most of the things already. So she's actually in the 3rd trimester now. So all we're going to do is we've gone through the whole majority of the prenatal care. So what we have to do at this point is make sure that the baby is growing adequately, make sure that the fluid around the baby is okay, and make sure that the placenta is in the right place and it's not too low and it's not bleeding and so forth. So this is the ultrasound that we do in the 3rd trimester. So first of all, we have to make sure that the baby's in the correct position. And when I say the correct position, and this is her first pregnancy, so obviously she's going to have a vaginal delivery, or at least attempt a vaginal delivery. So we have to make sure that the head is down. If the head is not down by 31 weeks, odds are it may not be down. If it's up, then it may not flip around later on. So it's a good thing that the head is down at 31 weeks. We also want to check the heart rate, make sure that the heart is beating appropriately. But the major thing at this point is we want to check the weight of the baby. And we can check the weight of the baby by measuring certain parts. We can measure the head, we can measure the abdomen, and we can measure the legs. And from that, the computer automatically formulates how big this baby is. So at this point, the abdomen is measuring 31 weeks. And then we have our legs up here. And we're not going to tell the world the sex of your baby, but we know the sex of the baby also. And that's a huge issue. And the earliest we should be able to tell the sex of a baby is around 16 weeks. So that's 31 weeks also. And then we can go down to the head also. So her head is actually quite deep in her pelvis, so it may be difficult to measure the head. But we'll do it anyway.
That was going to be my next question. How accurate are these tests in terms of weeks?
Well, the issue is, right now I'm getting, her age is, based on my measurement, she's 31 weeks and the baby is 3 pounds 14 ounces, which is about 1.7 kilos. So the computer can actually tell us, based on the average woman who's 31 weeks, where does she stand? And she stands right in the 34th percentile. So I know once this is not too low or this is not too high, once it's not less than 10% or over 90%, we know she's right in the average.
Okay.
So by measuring every body part, we can see how far along she is, and we can also see how much the baby weighs. And it's very important because at this point, after 30 weeks, is when sometimes baby can stop growing, and then it becomes a complicated pregnancy. And oftentimes, we don't know why the baby stops growing, but it's important that we do the ultrasound to make sure that the baby is growing. But the ultrasound is quite accurate because what we want to do is, in the 3rd trimester, make sure, if she's supposed to be 31 weeks, then we want to make sure the baby doesn't measure 28 weeks or it doesn't measure 34 weeks. Just like we can have a small baby, we can have a tremendously big baby also, and none of them are a good thing. So with her pregnancy, she's having a very routine pregnancy, and a woman like this, we anticipate her to have a routine vaginal delivery also. So also what we want to make sure is that the fluid around the baby is not too low. And we want to make sure that her placenta is in the right place, which it's always been. So she's having a wonderful pregnancy. So we can count her on the chance of having a vaginal delivery is upwards of 95%. We never can know for sure because anything can happen during labor. But she's having a normal prenatal care, so we anticipate a normal vaginal delivery. Any questions? So this is our placenta also. So we can check all of these things. Placenta, oh, we can see the nose and the mouth. You got Jason lips. So there's a number of things we can do, but the most important thing is the weight of the baby and the fluid around the baby.
And seeing that this is an ultrasound, and I know that your clinic became very famous for the 3D ultrasounds. Do you get a large amount of women wanting to do this, or has that declined somewhat?
Well, it's declined because I made it decline because I don't do it as often anymore because we were so busy. When I first started, I never anticipated we would be this busy, but as I said, there was a total of 510 delivery. We did about 230, so it's just way too busy because as we're looking for 3D now, I mean, we can see baby's lips and we can see the nose, but that's simply baby needs to turn also for us to get a decent picture. And this can take on average 30 minutes. So it's difficult doing this when you have 20 people outside waiting for you. So if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. But also with the 3D or with looking at the baby's face, we can make sure that baby doesn't have the cleft lip or cleft palate. So it's cosmetic, but it's also medical, that you can reassure yourself that baby doesn't have any abnormalities, because you can do all the tests in the world, but cleft lip and cleft palate is multifactorial. It just happens. Okay. So we can check for that also, and you know, we can check for many other things. So the ultrasound is a very important tool, but we have to do it at least 5 or 6 times during pregnancy to reassure ourselves that baby is okay. you know. So we're doing well. So the position that baby's in now is the position that is going to remain in, with the head down and the baby to the right of her abdomen. Babies usually choose one side of the neck to lean on. Okay. Most babies on average are on the right side. So this is the position baby is going to remain in.
Remain, so you hardly have babies who turn. For example, they can be facing down for the majority of the pregnancy, and then for some reason they turn up?
Well, we don't know why babies turn. On average, what happens is most babies face down around 30-31 weeks. But the problem is when we have babies facing up, or the head is up, because then, you know, baby's coming out feet first, which is quite dangerous. So I've seen babies 34-35 weeks with the head up, and then the next visit the head is down. We don't know why baby moved, but it simply moved. So most, 95% of pregnancies, the head is down. Only 5% we have breech deliveries.
Why does that become so difficult though with the legs first?
Well, with the leg first on average, because what happens is after you deliver first of all, you got 2 legs and only 1 head. So if you have 1 leg delivering, you have to deliver the next leg, and most legs don't come up both at the same time. So you got to search for the next one. And then when you deliver the leg and you deliver the abdomen, the cervix automatically closes, and sometimes the cervix closes around the neck, and then you have a very difficult delivery where baby can actually get strangled. And it's a very dangerous thing unless you know what you're doing. But for her, if the head was up for her and it remained up and she came in labor, I personally would do a C-section on her. I wouldn't take the chance of her having push with a breech delivery, because this is her first baby. Okay. If she had 3 previous deliveries, then so be it. And most often we have women who come in and the legs hanging out. We have to deliver them baby then. But for her, if we were going to do a planned delivery and the baby's head was up, I would actually do a planned C-section. Okay. But we don't know why babies turn around, but in 95% of babies, the head is down.
The same nail color day after day.
Not me.
New Revlon Top Speed Nail Enamel. Cool color with a built-in top coat that sets in just 60 seconds.
With Revlon, you can change your mind again and again and again.
New Revlon Top Speed Nail Enamel.
Are you looking for that prescription that the doctor just gave to you and you can't find it at no other pharmacy? Well, the Orange Grove Pharmacy is where you should be. Orange Grove Pharmacy, we carry a wide range of American and European prescriptions and drugstore items. We also do personal care products. We offer friendly services and 24 hours emergency delivery. Charges may apply. We're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Saturdays, 9 to 1 p.m. Orange Grove Pharmacy, supporting a healthy lifestyle.
A good party, a splash of red wine, a lingering memory. So we invented our Scotch-Brite Easy Erasing Pad that cleans surfaces, and with a flip, the white polymeric foam erases ingrain stains forever. Scotch-Brite, smart, simple and clean.
Thank you for having joined us today on A Better Place, and we would like to thank our guest for today's program, Dr. Randall Friday, who gave us vital information concerning prenatal care. We thank you once again, and we do look forward to you joining us for our next program.